Freaking out there. You can't handle the truth. You can't handle the truth.
What do all men in power want? More power.
My name is luca-zanna. I was an Italian by birth, and I became an American by choice. Our lives and freedoms are in danger. This is not a drill. If you're listening to this broadcasting, you are the resistance.
All systems go.
Welcome to Love, Guns, and Freedom.
We're not afraid.
Another Sunday, another show. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with luca-zanna on K-Talks 1340 AM and also 104.1 FM. Today is an interesting show because, yes, I will talk to you about news and the latest things about the different terrible things happening around us. The Epstein, Jeffrey Epstein, supposed to be suicide, what really means to us. But beside that, trying to look at the positive side, I'm broadcasting from a very unique place. I'm in the middle of nowhere, on top of kind of a mountain. It's a mountain, 7,000 feet elevation, I would consider a mountain, here in Mohave County. It's a beautiful place, beautiful view, nice. Sometimes almost make us remember, or at least remind us, that beside the garbage that we live every day, there are also beautiful things around us. And that's the idea. We need to find a little balance, otherwise we lose our mind. But at the same time, we got to face what's going on. You heard the news, pretty much the official version. Jeffrey Epstein was found dead in jail, when it was Saturday morning, I guess. This is completely ridiculous. I mean, everybody knows that you don't commit suicide in the middle of under watch federal prison, suicidal watch prison. Okay, there is so much that came out just the day before. All these documents from the lawsuit, from the criminal case, all these names talking about former governor of New Mexico, Richardson, and then federal senator, former president involved. This sex ring of pedophiles is coming out now. Out of the blue, this man killed himself, and you know that everything is under video surveillance. We're supposed to pretty much have access to this video surveillance. So far, we have nothing. So this is another attempt, or at least another final attempt, to completely create a complete destruction. But more important, showing us that there is no more rule of law. There is people behind the scenes that control everything, even the judicial system, even the most important part of this. Think about it. This is one of the biggest cases that could have really can bring down huge names, many names, politicians, former presidents, former governors, and people in the finance. So this is not just another racket of criminals. This is the down to the fiber of evil. We're talking about having sex with underage children, torture them with underage girls. A lot of things that they are really going to the pervert, and also into the evil satanic rituals. So now we're just scratching the surface. And the fact that Jeffrey Epstein was somehow allowed to suicide himself, and we don't believe that, and I think nobody will believe it. This is show that really there is no more justice. Like Hillary is still running free. Like we know very well about former FBI director running free. I mean, anybody else with the same charges would have been probably already spending 50, 60 years in jails. But federal prison, not even in jail. Instead, there is no justice. And that's the reality we need to face right now. That the fact is, we are living under tyranny. And what is the definition of tyranny? When you are having a selective enforcement of the laws. Laws are just for serfs, and lords and kings, they don't really apply to them. So that's the reality. And I'm not saying that I'm here in a destructive, negative way, because I still believe there is hope. We are still alive, and till you're alive, you gotta do something. But at the same time, we cannot fix this problem until we face the reality that we are completely in a very dire situation. And no, I don't believe Trump is going to be the savior. I'm sorry. I don't know if it's because he's part of it, or maybe just because he's just a man, or maybe because he's afraid too. I don't know all the answers. But I realize that what he's doing just with this new guns issues is completely proving that it's part of the plan. At least it's playing the plan. We talked last week. All these staged, or at least, let's say, very non-coherent. I mean, there are a lot of things that don't answer to the questions. There are too many questions with these mass shootings. And without getting into details, the first fact is, we look at the photos, we look at the evidence, we look at videos. I mean, you watch the video, you hear a guy or somebody shooting 6, 7 rounds or 20 rounds, and nobody screaming. There is no yelling. The alleged perpetrator, not even a drop of blood on his white pants. Then we have witnesses that were in the first few segments of local news. We have them on video, like the Mexican lady stating very clearly that there were more than 3 shooters dressed in black shooting at people, and they were in cops. She was very clear. Never mentioned anymore. This was for the El Paso shooting. I mean, so there is a fact that right now we've been somehow used as part of the plan. I mean, they need to distract us, they need to put us in fear, and then, of course, they need to give us the solution. Now the solution is disarming the people. And Trump is playing along. That's the reality. I'm sorry. People may believe it or not. I don't believe about conspiracy. This is a fact. Look at his statements very clearly. He wants to get the guns first and do process later. And more important, he's already done it. He's already opened the gate of hell with his executive order that he did exactly a few months ago, when by de facto, without any type of legislation, because and even Congress would have been kind of unconstitutional if they did it, but the president even more, they're supposed not to do legislate, but just execute the laws. So anyway, with his executive order, he banned a piece of property of the American people called bonfire stock. That supposedly, if you really want it, first of all, you're supposed to pay it. And when we bought it, was legal. You cannot do retroactively, make it illegal, and then say, now you burn it. That was completely a disaster, not just for the constitutionalist point of view, but also because now he's opening the gate to other presidents. They can do pretty much the same with any other parts of the rifle. Okay, so stop defending President Trump on that one, please. Now, comes down to Jeffrey Epstein. This situation is just the beginning. We'll see how it will unfold. Unfortunately, I have no really any type of hope for the new Attorney General. He already proven last week or so when he said that, Mr. Comey, former FBI director, he has a free pass. No matter how many laws he broke, he can go. So what do you expect now really from this investigation? Jeffrey Epstein, best case scenario is dead. Worst case scenario, I think maybe a clone may replace him. Don't forget the man, he had invested billions of dollars in genetic, research, and he wanted to clone himself. He wanted to create a new species with his genes, and we know that he had the opportunity to do it. He had the resources. He had the people. So everything is possible. I mean, he may have the clone of himself and just drop him there. Who knows? But the point is now, the really scary thing, we don't know what's going to happen to the trial, what's going to happen, more important, to the evidence and the different names of people that they were brought in. They weren't just U.S. politicians or people in the finance or, this sort of dark elite. But also we had people from England, like the royal family, like, forgot his name. Prince, whatever is Prince, any one of these Prince, okay? The point is that that's another case. It was proven by witnesses, or at least was alleged by witnesses, that he was forcing underage sex with girls, and that's very sad. So we'll see what happens. Meanwhile, what I can say is this, we gotta keep pushing. We cannot just be silent, because sometimes we get a little depressed. I understand. The problem is that if we let this go, and now we will have the next president. We already know the agenda. Agenda is going to be no borders. Agenda is going to be 80% taxes. That's what they want. Agenda is going to be completely destruction of private property. Agenda is going to be complete destruction of individual rights, starting from your First Amendment, of course, Second Amendment, and everything else. They're already talking for gun confiscation. They're talking about for punishments for expressing your ideas. We're talking about no more due process. They can take your rights away before even you have a trial. Just because somebody doesn't like your thinking, maybe doesn't like your ideas, they can report you, and that's exactly what they call these state red flags laws are. Just because a couple, I don't know, maybe your ex-wife or maybe a boyfriend or anybody say, I don't like that person. I think it's a little scary. I think it's violent. I think. No evidence, and more important, no trial. They can come, SWAT team, they will take your guns. If you resist, you die. Same story now if you go into expressing yourself from differences of opinion. Hey, you don't like 6 genders out there, you believe there are only 2 genders, guess what? You must be a person, must maybe have some mental evaluation. This is the new Gestapo. This is the new Russian KGB. What they used to do in Russia, they used to get them in the psychiatric evaluations for the political dissident before they put them in the camps. And that was another way to control them and to torture them. So that's what's coming to America if we don't stop it. So stay tuned, don't go away. Meanwhile, I'm joining the sun here at 7,000 feet elevation, watching down and looking at this world from another perspective. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with luca-zanna. Do not go away.
He's a songwriter, a poet, a rifleman.
I'm not afraid.
And a constitutional activist.
I'm not afraid.
Italian by birth.
I'm not afraid.
American by choice. Gianluca Zanna.
I'm not afraid.
And his new CD, Love, Guns, and Freedom. 16 powerful songs on one CD from the heart of a patriot. For download or to order the CD, go to www.lovegunsfreedom.com. That's www.lovegunsfreedom.com. Lyrics for your mind, music for your heart. Gianluca Zanna's new CD, Love, Guns, and Freedom.
All right, here we are back on the trail in the Hualapai Mountains in Mohave County, Arizona. About 7,000 feet elevation. Nice hike, very nice experience. I really enjoy here. Never been around here. I've been living all these years. And today I wanted to broadcast part of the show while hiking. Of course, I'll continue the show pretty soon from my studio. Don't forget, we broadcast normally from Kingman Force on Force Self-Defense Training Facility, located at 3001 Stockton Hill Road, Kingman, Arizona, where self-defense is a human right. Don't forget to visit the website, www.kingmanforceonforce.com. Now, you can hear the steps, you can hear my breathing, a little heavier. Not only I am about 7,000 feet elevation, but also, I've been hiking. And today I wanted to do this show. In the past, I've done the show from another location of Arizona at night. It was very nice. And I thought sometimes it's beautiful to change the surrounding. So I will talk today, as I am back in the studio, more news, what's happening, what really they're preparing for us. These politicians on the payroll of the global elite. Don't forget, the Jeffrey Epstein deal is so important because it's proven now. We have evidence that many famous politicians, they were at these very compromising parties with which minors were involved. And that's exactly what they do to completely control you, So think about it. Many of these politicians, you'll be surprised why they're voting the way they vote. Besides that they're evil, besides that they are paid off, they're also on the blacklist, actually blackmailing list. All right, I'm heading back to the studio. We'll continue with more news. Meanwhile, don't forget to go to www.lovegunsfreedom.com. If you want to support the show, don't forget to support K-Talks. And of course, you can go to my website, www.zanna.us. Stay tuned.
Are you ready to get lost in lust? Immerse yourself in a thunderstorm of emotions and passion. Order Gianluca Zanna's new book, Perfectly Crazy, 69 erotic visions and love poems with forbidden erotic Italian phrases. Perfectly Crazy by Gianluca Zanna. Available all over the world at Amazon.com and www.zanna.us.
Here we go, back into the studio. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with luca-zanna on K-Talks 1340 AM and also 104.1 FM. Special guest, Ed Mack. I had him on my show several times, and today it's going to be interesting, a different point of view, because not only I would like to have him officially as he's running for sheriff in Mohave County, and also because I may ask him some questions, things that are happening here in Mohave County, and something I would like to know his point of views. Regardless, people may think it's a little controversial. That's fine. I like controversial people. At least he's not afraid to stand for what he believes. That's all I can say. I may agree with him or not. That's not the point. The point is that on the radio show here, you can pretty much say whatever you want. Ed, are you there?
I am here. How you doing, Luca?
Very good, man. Very good. Good to hear you. Lista, let's go straight to the point. Are you running for Mohave County Sheriff or not?
Yes, I am.
All right. So this is official. I know that we talked before. I mean, we had done a lot of things together, business-related and everything, also personal. But we talked, especially when your ex-wife, let me just be sure that we refresh people's mind, was running for Mohave County. Right? Ex-wife, correct?
Definitely ex-wife, yes.
All right, very good. So let's not even go there. I don't want to go into the personal things. Sorry about that, but life goes on. Now you're running for sheriff. Just give me, give to the listeners in Mohave County why they should vote for you. I mean, what is exactly your 5 strong points? Why people they should choose you over other candidates?
5 strong points. First of all, I am a Second Amendment advocate, so obviously I own a factory, okay? One thing let's just delve into the red flag laws and why they're so dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? As you know, that our governor actually is one of the legislators texted me and told me, there was special legislation. They were going to talk about, putting this red flag law into place. And I'm thinking, wow. You know what anyone in the right mind, especially in politics, it would be so simple for the opposition to say, I think this guy's a mental case.
Mm-hmm.
And they go, take his guns away,
mm-hmm.
strip him of his Second Amendment rights, and then just knock him out of the race. I mean, there's just so much that can happen with this. For instance, let's just say Glock, the company, is getting ready to do a massive military contract, probably in the hundreds of millions, and this other company pops up, SIG, and SIG goes, you know what? I think the owner of Glock and all the staff is mentally ill.
Mm-hmm.
They go in, take all their guns, and that's the end of it. Now SIG gets the contract. That is the most dangerous thing ever.
I agree. No, I completely agree. By the way, between me and you, this is my personal opinion. I'm not speaking for you or anybody else. Governor Ducey is a clown. Is one of the disgraces that they really have. People think that he's a conservative. This guy is a communist in disguise. And not only what he did with education, red for ed, just dropping off 20% increase without negotiation to this in my opinion, the public service as education, it's a rip-off anyway. But beside that, when it comes down to these unconstitutional legislations, is behind almost everything. And I want to remind everybody out there why, first of all, this is so wrong. Do we have a due process or not? We're supposed to be guilty, innocent, until proven guilty. Otherwise, back to the time of kings and lords, I think, you honor that you are guilty. So go to the dungeon and 20 years, maybe you get out when you prove that you're innocent. If you got money, of course, to prove that.
Amen.
Good job.
I can't 100% agree with you calling Ducey a clown, and the only reason why is because he just signed a bill for Kratom, and Kratom is basically a thumb right in the face of the pharmaceutical companies.
Okay.
And I've actually because my mom actually has a health food store,
mm-hmm.
and I've actually seen people get off methamphetamine, heroin,
wow.
painkiller addiction, and actually cleared themselves with this herb, and it was so I can't really. No, but I don't agree with a lot of Ducey does, but this one I would have to agree with it. He did a good job by doing that because we can remedy our drug issues here in Mohave County with this natural herb that is very safe. So
and that's fine. No, listen,
I have to applaud him for that.
And that's fine. As I said, this is me talking. I want to be sure everybody understands.
Yeah. No,
on my side, I would say yes. Even clowns once in a while they do something right. Okay, but the point is still a clown in my opinion. Just look at everything can increase taxes and stuff. Is it one of these typical funny Republicans? I don't, maybe now he's becoming a real Republican because that's pretty much the exceptions are really rare. But regardless, let's go focus on you as a campaign. So, number one, Second Amendment, that's your belief. More important, the Constitution, the whole Bill of Rights, right? It is not just the Second Amendment. It's due process from the First Amendment all the way to the 10th Amendment. Now, tell us second reason why they should vote for you.
Well, okay. For one thing, I'm a businessman. I've been in business over half my life. Okay, I started from zero. I actually went from the streets, living in an abandoned car, to learning a plumbing trade because I was a troubled teen. Okay, and my mom and dad basically got divorced when I was 12 years old. My father actually sat me down on the couch and says, "I don't want to be a family anymore." And I looked at him and he goes, "My parents are getting older, and basically, you know, I just want to live my life." To say that to a 12-year-old boy who needs his father, it was devastating. So to me, I hated everything. I was just so upset that I went out, did all my drinking and all my foolish stuff at a young age, got in trouble with the law, and basically got to the point that I was on the streets. I had to go to just my whole life was at the bottom to the point that I was stripped of everything. And I said to myself, you know, what the heck, where am I going to go? And I cried out to my mother. I said, "Please, will you take me in? I need help." I got on a bus, went from Phoenix to Havasu. She called my uncle. They flew me out to Boston. I slept on his couch. I learned a plumbing trade. I paid him rent, saved up enough money, came out here to Havasu, got full custody of my daughter. At age 5 years old, I was a single father. I got into plumbing, started my own plumbing company. I ended up landing all the real estate accounts here in Lake Havasu. And then basically from there on, I ended up getting into real estate. I started buying lots, building spec homes. I started buying and subdividing, building duplexes, triplexes, and steamrolled all of this real estate while I was plumbing. And my company just blew up. And by the age of 30 years old, actually the age of 25, I had 18 properties. I owned my own home outright in cash.
Wow.
I had 3 vehicles I paid off in cash. And basically at 30 years old, I was living off my own basically interest before the crash. And then the interest rate, they went down to like nothing. And then basically from there, I basically retired at 30 completely of everything. And I was just buying and selling. And then I ended up getting into the gun factory. And well, today I still have that gun factory, and I get over 700 dealers nationwide. I just patented a trigger called Safety First, and I'm working with one of the largest gun companies in the world, American Tactical Imports, and basically working on a military contract, law enforcement contracts, and it is patented. It is underwritten by the largest insurance company in our industry, and it could save up to 3,367 lives a year. And I did all of this from basically a 12-year-old dropout, had no parents, went from the street to all of this without a loan. God has blessed me with this type of mind, and I'm very creative, and I believe that I can bring this to the sheriff's office. And the reason why I'm running for sheriff is because of what I see, the waste.
Okay.
The waste there.
Tell us exactly what you see, according to you, that would you like to improve. Give us a couple examples.
Oh, for one thing, look at our deputies. This is one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen. All the police departments surrounding, they make, I believe, and don't quote me on this, I think they make about $5 to $7 more an hour, okay? And basically what happens is Mohave County taxpayers are basically paying for a cadet to go to the academy. From the academy to FTO in a car, getting off FTO will cost the taxpayers $18,000. And then what happens is San Bernardino over there, or over there in Nevada, they go, wow, look at this, because it's a lateral state. And what do? They fleece them for more money, and we end up losing $18,000 every single time, and we just keep. And right now, we have deputies that jump ship. We're actually low on deputies because there's no incentives. There's no money here. And when I saw the sheriff actually go out and spend $73,000 on rifle suppressors, saying that he's doing that to to protect the deputies' ears, I'm thinking, okay, where's the handgun suppressors? It's a waste of money. I mean, we cannot have this constant waste. We need to give these deputies incentives.
I'm just curious, Ed, this is a contractor with a suppressor. Normally the county, does it work like a public, you do like some sort of appalt, how you say in English, when you have a contract, you need to make a bid, a public bid.
Correct, 3 bids.
Who got that? Who got this contract? I'm just curious.
ProForce.
Okay.
ProForce got and you know what I actually did? I offered E3 Arms, my factory, my company. I said that I would buy those suppressors for $1 over cost to help our county, and they wouldn't even give me the time of day.
Wow.
I would have saved our county, $73,000. They wouldn't call me. They wouldn't even give me, and I did that. I made a public video, said I will absolutely do this for $1 over cost, and they would not accept it.
Oh, interesting. Listen, by the way, speaking about the sheriff, Schuster, I always invite him, even he blocked me, or at least I think he unfriended me after the last elections of your wife from Facebook. I have no personal things with him. If he wants to be on the show, Sheriff Schuster, be happy to come here. I have no problems. I'll give you the same airtime that I'm giving to you. This is official. I'm not trying to bring anybody down up. I give you the same opportunity. But it's important what you're saying. I like to hear from Schuster too, even I doubt it will come. Maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. Now tell me the third reason why they should vote for you, Mr. Mack.
Okay. For one thing, anyone who's voted into office is not a know-it-all. Okay. There was an idea that I went to the newspapers and talked to them about. They've yet printed this. Mm-hmm. I believe if I was elected sheriff, I'd like to do this every quarterly. Like in Lake Havasu, Bullhead, and Kingman, every quarterly, let's say in January, we would go, it would be me, if I was elected, if I had the privilege to be elected, me as sheriff, you would have the mayor of that city, the chief of police, and you would have a board of supervisors there, and maybe a few city councilmen. We would stand there on a stage. We would call, it would be in the newspaper, we would call in the townspeople, and the townspeople would come there, and we would bounce ideas off one another, maybe have a potluck. And what's nice is that the people can meet the deputies and the officers, and we become more of a close-knit family. And the thing is, it's like, for instance, you could say Little Mike. Little Mike's been getting in trouble, you guys. What can we do? Well, this is what we've been doing with little Joey. And then it's like the officer can come over and go, yeah, we've had some problems with Mike. And we get to share ideas. And all of a sudden there's some chief of police that comes out and goes, hey, I retired here in Havasu. I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio. We had a program like this. And then we all go, wow, that program seemed to work. Maybe we can implement this program. How much is that going to cost? And, oh, hey, there's Sonny Borelli. There's Leo Biasici there. Oh, wait, here's the city council. We're all together bouncing ideas off each other because, if I'm elected, I don't know everything. I'm going to have to count on, everyone's input. And basically, if I'm elected, who's the boss? It would be you, the viewer.
Okay.
So I look at it this way. Right now, I'd like to get into the courts if I could. Our court system right now is basically, they have no solutions. You have a kid, and I think this whole marijuana thing is it's ridiculous. You have a kid who gets caught with a little bit of marijuana, okay? He goes before the judge. He gets a $5,000 fine, a year to 2 years probation. This kid is what? Let's say the kid's 18. And to me, you're still a kid at 18, 19 years old. How the heck is an 18 or 19-year-old going to be able to pay that $5,000 fine? Now he has a criminal record, okay? He's on probation. What's that kid going to do? He has no incentive to do anything. He made a mistake. He's young. I made mistakes when I was young, got a second chance, turned my life around. Why not have a program? I'm not going to say the names, but I went to a couple of the plumbing companies, a couple of electrical companies. I haven't gone to the framing companies yet. And I said, if I could put a program into place like this, that a troubled youth gets caught with some marijuana or just a offense, nothing like a stealing offense, but a small offense, would you take them on and teach them a trade if you can maybe even pay them a couple bucks an hour or maybe even free? Would you do that? Absolutely we would do that, they said, right?
Okay.
Here's the problem. If the state gets involved, they're going to go with self-employment tax. We need to have some kind of a waiver that the county cannot be sued. And this is what I look at it. Case goes before the judge. Here's your $5,000 fine. Here's your 2 years probation. Or you can go over to so-and-so's plumbing company, 1,000 hours in, And if you behave and upon completion you come back, I'm only going to give you a $500 fine, and your probation's gone, and you don't have a criminal record, son. That kid completes that, guess what now? He's proud of himself. He knows a trade. He can go out anywhere and be a productive citizen. These are things that I want to do as sheriff. I want to be a community-oriented sheriff. I want to be in, shaking hands. I want to get to know the community. And I don't want to just sit up in Kingman. I want to be down here in Havasu, Bullhead, Kingman, and that's what I want to do. What's that noise, Luca? Sounds like you broke a chair or something.
No, maybe, I don't know, maybe moving the chair. But let me tell you something, ask you a question. I'm sure you're familiar with the private prison system that we have, right?
Yes,
yeah,
a little bit.
Bottom line is the system that we are now in Arizona, at least, in most of the states, it's run by private prisons for profit. I'm all for profit as a private corporation.
There's big money in that.
Yeah, but the point, when you have the justice, that's supposed to be something that really one of the few things that the state should administer. When we incorporate, in this case, let's say, what is the point of a business? You are a businessman to have a profit, right? I mean, otherwise you can stay in business. So when we have a private corporation that runs this business called private prisons, they need what? They need more customers. That means they need more people in jail. So what do they do now? They don't want ideas like yours. Ideas like yours, they're bad for business. So what they want to lobby, in this case legally bribe, that's what is a lobby, more legislators that they will pass more laws to people like these poor children or kids that somehow they make a mistake, they do a mistake when they, like you did a mistake, they don't want to give them a chance, okay, go to rehab or just go to try to learn a trade. No, you got to spend the rest of your life on probation and trying to spend as much time in our hotel that, by the way, is overcharging us. So much that in some states like Colorado, when the state did not provide the 90% occupancy required by contract, the private prison sue the state because they want to be always filled. So here we go. And then we have, unfortunately, law enforcement that are no more peace officers, but they are becoming kind of pusher for more new customers. So that's the sad thing.
The revenue generator.
Exactly. So it's very honorable what you're saying, but I tell you, man, it's going to be pretty much a battle against the Titans, but hey, never know. Somebody got to try. Now, tell me something. Why people should not vote for you? I mean, you know your weakness. What is the things that you think people say, you know what? Screw it, Mac. He's crazy. I don't know. He's always looking for women. I don't know. I'm just trying to think, what do you think?
Okay, my weakness would probably be, I didn't finish school, but I also think that's my strength because at a young age I got to go through so much turmoil, so many tribulations. I learned at such a young age. I had to become an adult at a young age. And from that learning, I believe that I can actually go out and help those who are, who are in trouble. And I look at it this way. I think my weaknesses are actually my strengths. I mean, our current sheriff, he's just a boating sergeant. He was my ex-wife's sergeant, and basically what he used to tell her, hey, go to Jack in the Box right now, go get me this. I need Subway. And he would just order people around. They'd go get him all this food. And he's not a very nice guy. He was a boating sergeant. And to be honest, I don't believe, and I don't want to badmouth him, but I don't believe he should be in the position of sheriff. He has no business experience whatsoever. So I do believe that
people can say, people can say you have no law enforcement experience. They never went to academy.
That's good. I'm glad you told me that.
Yeah, tell me.
You don't need any law enforcement experience because the sheriff, under our very wise forefathers, don't want careered or in-the-box shaped type people running for office. They want basically the normal common folk like the farmer or the milkman. I mean, they don't want career politicians in there. And they've set it up this way. 18 years old, resident of the state, no felony convictions. You can run for sheriff. It's a constitutional position. The sheriff is nothing but an administrator. It's an administrative position, that's what I excel in. It is public relations. The two men that I have that I've chosen to actually work under me, deputy chief and undersheriff, one has 30 years experience, FBI training academy. He's been through Department of Homeland Security training. The other one's 20 years, command experience, and he has a master's degree in criminal justice. So, I mean, these two guys, between them both, it's 50 years. They're pillars as law enforcement. But my business skills, us together, there's nothing that can stop us.
Okay. All right. Very good. And question. Now, I know this is on the site. I've been noticing some of your photos in a very, let's say, not exactly sheriff-like attire. Go around a little bit like a playboy for girls,
Yep.
playgirls. I mean,
I agree. Yep.
what's up with that? I mean,
You want me to explain that?
Yeah, of course. That's why I'm asking you.
Okay. Yeah. As a businessman, we're in a day and age, okay, and I think I've warned people ahead of time, if you go through my posts. In our day and age, we have these cell phones on our side. We're bombarded by constant. We're getting texts and emails, and our life is fast paced. It takes something very unusual and out of the ordinary to be able to get the attention of people. So I'm sitting there going, how do they sell things in commercials? You get an ape jumping out of the woods. He's jumping on a mattress. And basically, as a businessman, I'm sitting there going, okay, I'm a good-looking man. Why don't I use my body to draw the attention, negative or good, get these people to watch me, deliver the message, and eventually, once I have that attention, I can, stop doing that, obviously, because it's basically a business strategy I did, and then deliver the goods, deliver the message to the people, and then in the end, they'll say, wow, this guy definitely, he knows business, because that's what it is. Sex sells in this nation. I don't think I was inappropriate. I mean, my shirt off, it's like any man on a construction site or at the beach playing volleyball. I did it to gain the attention, and it worked.
Okay.
And I delivered my message.
Are you running for which party ticket?
Republican.
Okay.
You couldn't win if I was independent or a Democrat. You can't win in this county, but I am a conservative.
Okay.
I am running as a Republican.
Okay, talking the last thing before I let you go. I'm glad you brought up the red flag laws. It's very serious. I want to know your opinion when it comes down to, for example, the potential acts of presidents like executive orders, because, Trump, unfortunately, President Trump seems like he's pretty sarcastically pretty good at executive orders when it comes down to go against due process. For example, he did this bump fire stock executive order that not even Congress should have done, but at least if you wanted to follow the Constitution, Congress should have the power to legislate. And if they really wanted to take our item, in this case, a bump fire stock that we bought legally, they should give us a compensation. No, instead they just say destroy or we get it back. So for me, really failed us. Now, what's coming is going to be worse, in my opinion, because the next president will follow the example of a President Trump using executive orders to curb or destroy our Second Amendment. If you elect a sheriff and the next president says, hey, we must turn the guns in or we must do an assault weapon ban, what would you do?
I would oppose it. I would absolutely oppose it. I actually have plans as sheriff to, my friend, a friend of mine, he trains the United States Navy SEALs and Secret Service and everything. He told me if I was elected that he would pro bono train civilians and some of our deputies if I was elected. And what I propose is get 50 to 100 people in each city as able-bodied, ready men or women in case of a tragedy or in case of a terrorist attack. And I would absolutely oppose that 100%. It is against the Constitution. That's it. Period.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'm not going to allow that. I would not allow it.
That's interesting. I mean, this is kind of saying is very, very bold statement. I respect, honestly, I am with you completely. I'm not even faking it. I always say about that. We took an oath to defend this Constitution, and this is part of it. We can't just say if they go from there, they got us everything. But, very good.
What did Benjamin Franklin say? What did he say? They said, Mr. Franklin, they are deliberating.
Yeah.
He says, what did we get? He goes, we got a republic if you can what?
Keep it.
Keep it.
Exactly.
We are a republic. We're not a democracy.
I agree.
We're a republic.
I agree.
And we're all responsible in keeping it.
Good job. Last thing, I want to let you go, and I'll let you say whatever you want. Did you hear about these Pegasus Holdings Incorporated, or somehow Holdings, International Holdings? They just bought, they just opened, at least officially, this site, about 700 acres, just outside Kingman, there was a video that I was kind of disturbed when I watched it. They were breaking ground. Technically, they broke ground a few months ago, but this is for the public. There were, of course, different local legislators, county supervisors, at least some they were invited. Former Senator Gould, County Supervisor Gould wasn't there. But beside that, the point is that this holdings company states that they are building one of the biggest data center off-grid. That means there is no any type of connection, but they have incredible solar power that nobody really was even... Pegasus, yes. And I asked, for me it was kind of a disgusting show. These local politicians, they were all star-struck, They brought here, as ambassador, the Duchess of England, the wife of the...
Whoa. What do you mean? He came down for this Pegasus?
Yeah, if you watch the video, there is the Ferguson, the Duchess of Windsor, or whatever it is, or York, Duchess of York. By the way, the Prince Edward, or the husband, the ex-husband, they still live together, is also in the books of alleged pedophile. No, he's a convicted pedophile. Jeffrey Epstein. Prince Andrew is on the run. Technically, he's one of the people that they're supposed to go grab him and bring him in front of a justice. His ex-wife, that they still live together, the Duchess of York, a royalty, by the way, she represents the royal family, the crown. Mm-hmm. She was there in Mohave County just a few days ago, watched the video, and giving speeches, by the way, kind of disturbing, because if people watch the speech, this private corporation, we don't even know who are the owners. All we know that they supposedly have a very strong presence, 700 acres with heavily armed security. This wasn't just the typical county security you find at the county. These were people like Blackwater with rifles, full automatic rifles, with completely in paramilitary style. And more important, the secrecy. You can hear Supervisor Bishop talking on video, said that she had to keep secrecy of all this happening till a few weeks ago, so much that she could even say that to the husband. Now, if me and you, we want to open a business, like let's say a brewery or anything, like a bar, we have to go...
It's a matter of public record, to be honest with you.
We have to go in front of the county supervisor, be public, and, beg, and eventually they give us a permit. Instead, all these procedures, they were done in secrecy, so much that today I spoke with the Supervisor Gould, he wasn't even aware of all that, till a few days ago. Now, questions I have for you is this. Since you're running for sheriff, you should probably get involved into this and maybe ask, as a concerned citizen, who owns this private corporation? Because it's an international holdings, could be a foreign country. We're not allowed to ask. Could be China, could be Russia, could be anybody. Now, they say that in their statement that they are building this facility for anybody. That means they're building it. They could give the keys to anybody else. Now, the usage of water... it's kind of never been talked about it, but according to official records, solar energy for every megawatts of power that generates, it requires... it requires a huge amount of water. And I was kind of disgusted, by the way, by our assessor here that she posted on my Facebook page. Try to play me down like a kid. So, Luca, no, don't worry about the water. There is no conspiracy. You just need a little water to wash the glass. I mean, seriously. I don't even remember her name. You can find out. I told her, look at the records. She's pondering, looks like, try to protect.
Jeannie Kench said that?
Yep. I on my Facebook. Very disgusting. I say, I bring facts, by the way. With all respect, assessor, look, this is for every megawatt, there is so many gallons of water. At least we should have the right to know. But the points are, for you, since you're running for sheriff, who are these people, number one? Number two, why we need a crown. Our founding fathers fought and died to be sure that we don't need to bow down in front of, potential nobility. What I found disgusting in this county, that nobody's forcing us to bow down, but people pee in their pants, wet their pants, take photos with these people that we're supposed to say, you know what, I don't know. It's your personal choice, of course, but as an American, I refuse to find an idol or some sort of a star figure, somebody that technically he thinks or she thinks that is above us as serfs or at least subjects, because that's what she is. She's a royal, she's a duchess. But anyway, it's very interesting. We don't know who owns this company. We don't know how many gallons, millions of gallons of water they use, and more important, we don't really know what they're doing. Data.
The location, is the location close to the river or anything?
No, it's just out of the 40, 20 miles from Kingma. You should find out. Watch the video. Very interesting. But another important thing, there are some, Mexican people that they look, business people dressed up like a little bit on, fancy style, and supposedly they are behind all this operation. Hey, that's fine. I'm from Italy. I can do business too. I'm not trying to discriminate anybody. But I would like to know, where are these people that they have connections with the Duchess of York, and they can bring a $3 billion project in Mohave County. So we are not allowed to ask anything. As residents of Mohave County, we've been given this as the end when everything was done. And don't you dare add to even get close there, because these people, they have barbed wire, razor wire, and machine guns, and they look like black water for me. Seriously, it's a serious.
Well, one of the border supervisors, I won't mention their name, sent me basically a little brochure on Pegasus, and I briefly went through it, and I never went around to actually researching it. But now that you've kind of opened my mind, there's so many things going on. It's like you can only.
No, I understand. This is serious, because this is going to be the blueprint. You have to watch the speech. The speech of Duchess of York said this is going to benefit the world. I thought we were supposed to benefit Mohave County. I mean, this is a speech out of a globalist, out of their agenda. She says so much that at the end she wants to bring to Mohave County the little kid from Africa to work here. And that's fine. If you come like I came, from Italy as an immigrant, following the process, that's fine. Right. But I didn't think this was the nature of the project, to bring immigrants from around the world. I mean, we're supposed to do what? A business maybe for our community. So I don't know. I wish you can take, I know time is precious, but this is important, because I think it's deeper than it seems. And watch the video and then tell me what you think. I'll send it to you, okay?
Interesting.
All right, my friend. Anything you want to say? I give you the 60 seconds. You have the floor. People wants to find your website, how they can reach you. If they want to support you, go ahead.
If you want to be able to get a hold of me, you can go to EdMac, my EdMac page on Facebook, or you can go to EdMac for Sheriff. My personal email is eamarms@gmail.com. That is eamarms@gmail.com. And go ahead and email me or private message me on Facebook if you have any concerns or any questions.
Very good, Ed. Thank you very much. I'll be in touch with you, okay?
Thank you, Luca.
Thank you. Don't go away. Stay there. 1 sec. All right. Okay. There was Ed Mack, and we'll continue now with this information about exactly what's happening down in Mohave County at this facility where Pegasus Holdings International is creating this data center for $3 billion. Let's find out a little more. Don't go away.
It is time. Get your Arizona Concealed Carry Permit now with Arizona Concealed Carry Permit by Zanna Enterprises, LLC. Become a more responsible and educated gun owner. Carry legally concealed in 35 states. Carry permitted in restaurants where alcohol is served. Learn where and how you can legally carry a firearm in Arizona. Learn where you can use deadly force. Where can you display your gun or not for self-defense? Learn how to deal with law enforcement while carrying a firearm. Learn how to be aware of your surroundings and how to avoid a confrontation. Buy your gun without waiting for a background check. Get your Arizona Concealed Carry Permit now. Go to www.azccw.us. Go to www.azccw.us. Free for single mothers and people with disabilities.
Introduce the next speaker. Duchess of York, Sarah Ferguson. Duchess Ferguson is a world-renowned author, artist, producer, philanthropist, and global ambassador for Pegasus Group Holdings. We couldn't be more excited to have a person of her caliber lead our philanthropic efforts throughout the community and across the globe. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Duchess Sarah Ferguson.
Boo! Boo!
Jay Bloom, you're the main event. But only as good as that lovely Carolyn that keeps you upright. Where are you, Carolyn? Hi, darling. You're the best. Oh, and you, Sean, with your lovely show. Yeah. Okay, so everybody in Mohave County. Jean, wouldn't we have fun together? And you're so emotional. You speak from your heart, and you're just so lovely. Is she grumpy too? I mean, Tammy, how grumpy? And where's your husband today? He's home watching westerns. I'm a man of my own heart. Like John Wayne, True Grit. Yeah, okay, fine. Back to why I'm standing here. Okay, you heard Jay Bloom say what he had to say right then. Okay, so picture this. When Tony and I walked in just a minute ago, we walked in here, and how many photographs did we have already? How many people said, "Oh, I've got my, hold on, here's my telephone, can I take a picture?" And we're thrilled, and of course we're thrilled, we're on the public stage, this is what we do. But how do you charge your telephones? Oh, we'll just go back home and charge it. Great, easy, isn't it? Yeah. I know, just stop for a minute. What if you are on a dump in the middle of Sierra Leone, you're 15 years old, you're called Joseph. I went up to him and I said, and he had his head down like this, and he was wandering around, and he wouldn't look me in the eye. And I said, so what's your name? And he said, Joseph. And I said, what are you doing? He said, I'm looking for plastic bottles, because if I collect plastic bottles, I can make 10 pence this afternoon. That's 10 cents for all of you. And maybe I can feed my family tonight. And then he said, oh, ma'am, good to see you. And I said, wait, hold on a minute. We're in the middle of Sierra Leone, on the middle of the largest dump of waste plastics in the world, and you're saying ma'am to me. I said, quite frankly, you seem like you're really educated. And he said, yes, ma'am, I was at school, but I've had to come out because I've got to do this for my family. But I want to go back to school. I said, what do you want to do? He says, I want to be a lawyer. Right. So I turned to little Jenna, who I was with, the social manager, and I said to him, this guy needs to go to school right now. How much will that cost? Oh, well, that'll cost $30 a year for him to be educated. I went, okay, let's educate him. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's get Joseph educated. So now comes the situation, what if you don't give Joseph hope? What if you don't give Joseph a planet? What if you don't give Joseph an opportunity to plug his own telephone in so he can learn from his own Google or whatever else he wants to learn from? And so that's why I've come to Mohave County. Because for Joseph, who's all over the other side of the world in Africa, we herald you, Joseph, because we are going to make a better planet for you, just from what Mohave County has done by supporting J. Bloom Albert, plus minus power Dan Briggs, Michael.
All right, guys, this is serious. This is serious. We're talking about global socialism. I mean, you heard a little bit. This is Duchess Sarah Ferguson, the ex-wife living in of the Prince Edwards, that allegedly, because so far it has been not sentenced yet, or has been not even tried, of course, but is pretty much a very good buddies of the pedophile, not even about alleged pedophile, it was already been convicted pedophile of international sex ring for children and minors, Epstein, Jeffrey Epstein. Mr. Prince Edwards has been on his logbooks, visiting his island, and also she's been, the Duchess, several times. There are also accusers against the Prince, okay? And now this woman, I call her a woman for me, I give her respect as a woman. I have no any type of, oh my gosh, she's the Duchess. Who cares? Our founding fathers fought and died and bled because we're supposed not to be bowed down anymore or feel like, oh my gosh, they're human beings. Honestly, I believe some of them, they are less than human beings. They're kind of leeches, parasitic individuals. They who live on and feast on somebody else's work. So this woman, the Duchess of York, comes here, hired by this Pegasus, Holding Incorporated, and we're not even allowed to know who they are, and start to tell us about global socialism. Let's educate them. The purpose of this to get this poor little kid in Africa. Don't get me wrong, I was a poor kid too in Italy, and I don't think it's job of Mohave County to educate me. Okay? Don't ask to America or to a county to educate somebody else from another country. This is exactly out of the book of New World Order, global socialism. Okay? Not because they're altruistic, not because they're trying to do this some sort of a charity. I believe in charity. This is a complete forced redistribution of wealth, like they're doing in Europe, opening the gates, the floods of this, okay, from Europe being invaded. Now the point is to get this company into this country. We don't know anything about these holdings. We don't know about anything who's going to benefit in this solar plant data center. We don't know how much water is going to be used, but we'll find out next week. We'll talk a lot about this. And by the way, we'll talk about why, my humble opinion, we should never be starstruck or starstruck or Star Trek, whatever you want to call it, when it comes down to these novelties. We are Americans, okay? And our founding fathers fought and died that we're never supposed to be bowed down to anybody. I don't feel any type of sympathy towards anybody who declares themselves to be above other people, other human beings. You're a duchess. For me, you'll be as good as you are, a plumber. Simple as that. You're no more, no less. Talk to you next Sunday. Don't go away. Don't miss next show. It's going to be deep, directly into this new project in Mohave County.
Wake up, America, before it's too late. They're trying to make you fade away. They're trying to kill your faith. Every day you're invaded, your soil desecrated. Politicians turn their back. You're under attack.